Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. This weekend we are in Mexico for the next round of the 2022 Formula 1 Championship, and whilst I'm sure you will all be cheering on Sergio Perez to take a win in his home nation, there isn't a whole lot of other reasons to watch. Both championships have been settled, all eyes are on the fight for the list of best losers from 2nd to 6th, with a sprinkle of Alpine versus McLaren thrown in. But this week we did learn some exciting news. Audi will be joining the Formula 1 grid in 2026 as an engine supplier and a team, taking over the Sauber team, meaning Alfa Romeo will once again be disappearing from Formula 1 by the looks of it. That's what, the third or fourth time? They're as inconsistent as Honda. I think the big question is, can Audi finally take the Sauber team to race wins in Formula 1? Because it's only ever happened once since they joined the grid in 1993. That was Robert Kubica in 2008. So unless an Alfa Romeo wins between now and Audi joining, the Sauber team won't have won a race in Formula 1 for 18 years. They have managed to survive in one form or another for a surprisingly long time, whether it be BMW Sauber, actual Sauber, or Alfa Romeo, and now Audi. They are a team that get by just fine. They're a good choice for Audi. Sauber have an experienced team and up-to-date facilities and a wind tunnel. There are worse ways to enter Formula 1. The engine manufacturer part is interesting though. At the moment, Sauber use Ferrari engines. Audi to jump in with their own engine is a bit of a risk. As happy as I am to see other engine manufacturers on the Formula 1 grid, what if they cock it up? Ask Honda how hard it is to be a Formula 1 engine manufacturer. They took a lot of slack before finally finding success with Red Bull. They immediately backed out and now Red Bull powertrains are the best in Formula 1. This will be Audi's first attempt ever at Formula 1. They have had success in everything else, from rallying to touring cars and especially sports cars. On the single-seaters front, they did have a lot of success in Formula E, powering the apt Sportline team and Lucas di Grassi to championship wins. It was a bit of a shock when they left Formula E, but maybe this was on the cards all the way back then. In terms of Formula 1, the closest links Audi have had are back in the black and white days of Auto Union. The Auto Union cars raced in the late 1930s before World War II broke out, and they had a lot of success as well as advancing aerodynamics in motorsport. They created some iconic cars in their short existence, and Audi will have a hard task living up to that legacy. I'm sure they'll settle for some wins. It'll be interesting to see if Andretti continue with their attempt at joining the Formula 1 grid. They had been sniffing around the Sauber team also, although a deal seemed unlikely. I hope Andretti do proceed in some form, even starting their own team. It would always be nice to have more cars on the grid. Porsche are also looking into joining the grid still. The deal with Red Bull has fallen through, but there are other teams who may be interested in forming a partnership with Porsche. And unlike Audi, they have raced in Formula 1 before. A long time ago, but they have. They finished third in the Constructors back in 1961, and Dan Gurney won a race for them in 1962. Just don't bring up that brief stint as an engine supplier for the footwork team in 1991, the one that mostly led to Alex Caffey and Michele Alboreto struggling to qualify for races. Whatever happens in the next 4 years, I will be looking forward to seeing the four rings of the Audi brand on the Formula 1 grid, and I wish them every success in Formula 1. In other Formula 1 news, Lance Stroll was given a free-place grid drop for his part in the accident with Fernando Alonso. Fair on reflection in my opinion, he did jink to the left pretty late and it was dangerous. Fernando Alonso, as a result of that crash, sustained a lot of damage but somehow managed to continue. However, a wing mirror came loose and fell off, causing the Haas team to protest, and Alonso was dropped from 7th to 15th. Disappointing considering the incredible effort to get back up into the points, but Alpine are going to appeal, so there is a chance Fernando Alonso will have his 7th place restored. If not, it gives McLaren a little helping hand in their battle in the Constructors. Okay, side note, I was editing this on Friday, and it's already been announced that the Alpine appeal was successful, and Alonso did indeed finish 7th. The Red Bull budget cap drama continues on. The FIA have suspended proceedings, but they are set to continue shortly. It looked like there was going to be some kind of deal that would see Red Bull get a minor penalty, but Red Bull still say they're in the right, and so this will continue on and on and on. Christian Horner came out and complained about the draconian efforts of other teams to have him severely punished, and he's right, it's pathetic. The FIA should have laid out their rules and punishments better, but to all the team managers and drivers, just get on with the racing. Believe it or not, but I don't care about Toto Wolff's opinion. Nor do I want to know what Zak Brown has for breakfast, or what Gunther Steiner wears in bed. I just want them to do the racing thing. The reason we are all here. Okay, second editor side note. It's been announced that the Red Bull decision will be made on Friday. This video is probably coming out on Saturday, so I'll discuss it in the Grand Prix review on Sunday. Finally, Lewis Hamilton talked about retirement for the zillionth time since the end of last year. He's not ready to retire, but he is focusing on what he will do after Formula 1. It doesn't seem to involve motorsport, which shows how much he truly cares about the sport these days. He has his own film production company that's currently working on a documentary of his life and a Formula 1 film involving Brad Pitt. So Lewis Hamilton after Formula 1 will focus on vanity products and inflating his own ego. I think it's good he has a plan though. So many people in sport seem to fall from grace after they retire. I do think it's good he has something to focus on. I would like to see him do the odd racing thing after Formula 1 though. Racing with his brother in the BTCC would be kind of cool, although Lewis Hamilton probably doesn't even know what a Chris Smiley is. So what do you think about Audi joining the Formula 1 grid, or anything else we discussed here today? Let me know in the comments below, leave a like and tell your friends. Thank you so much for watching, remember to subscribe. Check out this live stream tomorrow at 7 AM and have a good one.